behind the back. Hines Allen back here for Clark. She will launch, draws the foul, and will shoot 3 free throws.
Completely sold out and buzzing with a moment nervous energy. This wasn't just opening day of the WNBA season. This was a reckoning. To understand the tension in the building, you have to rewind the clock exactly 9 days. 9 days ago, against this very same Dallas Wings team, the unthinkable almost happened. Alana Smith closed out too aggressively, recklessly stepping directly into Caitlin Clark's landing zone on a three-point attempt. The sickening thud of Clark crashing to the hardwood echoed through the arena. She grabbed her lower leg, her face twisted in agony. The deafening roar of the crowd vanished in an instant, replaced by a suffocating, terrifying silence. For a player who had already lost 31 games to lower body injuries the year prior, this looked like a catastrophe. She shot her free throws, limped off the court, and never came back. For over a week, the basketball world held its collective breath. Was her season over before it even began? But as the lights dimmed on May 9th, the answer walked out of the home tunnel. Caitlin Clark wasn't just in uniform. She had a look in her eyes that screamed absolute defiance. When her name boomed over the PA system, the arena didn't just cheer, it exploded. 9 days of suppressed anxiety erupted into a deafening wall of sound. But the Dallas Wings did not travel to Indiana to play the villain in Caitlin Clark's movie. Coached by the fiery Jose Fernandez, Dallas brought an absolute arsenal. Paige Buchers, fresh off a Rookie of the Year campaign, looked deadly. Eric Ogunbowale was in assassin mode. And the 2026 #1 overall pick was making her highly anticipated debut. Dallas threw the first punch instantly. But Clark wasn't going to ease into the game. On her very first real touch, she rejected a screen, put her head down, and attacked the rim with reckless abandon. She absorbed the contact, finished the layup, and drilled the free throws with ice in her veins. She was sending a message, I am still here. But surviving the opening minutes was one thing. Indiana was about to face an offensive storm from Dallas that nobody saw coming. If the first quarter was a fistfight, the second quarter was a tactical execution by the Dallas Wings. They flipped a switch and unleashed a devastating 12-3 run that completely sucked the life out of the Indiana crowd. The reality of the WNBA is harsh. Emotion doesn't put points on the board, and Dallas was a well-oiled machine. Eric Ogunbowale became an absolute nightmare for the Fever defense. No matter who they put in front of her, she found a way to create space, raining down contested jumpers. On the other end, Paige Buchers was putting on a playmaking clinic. She was manipulating defenders with her eyes, threading impossible passes through heavy traffic, and generating wide-open looks. Dallas was playing basketball at a terrifying speed. By halftime, the Wings had hit an unbelievable 10 of 16 from beyond the arc. They strutted into the locker room with a 60-51 lead. They had taken Indiana's best emotional punch, silenced the crowd, and established complete dominance. But a 9-point lead is an illusion when you are playing against number 22. The third quarter began, and before Dallas even had a chance to set their half-court defense, Caitlin Clark caught the ball. She didn't look for a play. She didn't look at the coach. She took one vicious step back, set her feet 26 feet from the basket, and let it fly. Swish. The net snapped. The crowd leaped out of their seats. The deficit was cut to 6, and suddenly, the Fever had a pulse. What followed was an absolute offensive masterclass. Clark flipped a switch that few players in the history of the sport even possess. She accounted for 12 of Indiana's first 16 points in the quarter. She was draining logo threes. She was driving into the teeth of the defense and tossing perfect, no-look lobs to Aaliyah Boston. The invincible Dallas defense was suddenly scrambling, looking completely lost. That daunting 9-point halftime lead evaporated like smoke. 3 points. 1 point. Tie game. The momentum had completely shifted, the building was shaking, but Clark wasn't done. She was about to etch her name into the history books, and she was going to make it incredibly personal. Right in the absolute chaos of that massive third-quarter comeback, Clark caught the ball on the wing. With a defender draped all over her, she unleashed a blinding spin move, drove hard to the glass, and flipped a delicate finger roll into the hoop. With that single, beautiful shot, the record books were rewritten. Caitlin Clark became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 1,000 points, 250 rebounds, and 250 assists. She completely shattered the legendary Diana Taurasi's record of 62 games, doing it in a jaw-dropping 54. Fever legend Tamika Catchings, sitting courtside, stood up to applaud. The arena gave a standing ovation. But Clark barely smiled. She pointed out a defensive assignment and ran back down the court. The game entered the fourth quarter tied at 80, turning into an absolute dogfight. Dallas pushed their lead back up to 5. The tension was suffocating. And then, the defining moment of the game happened. A Dallas defender bumped into Clark and dramatically flopped backward onto the hardwood, trying to bait the referee into an offensive foul call. 9 days ago, this team threatened her career with a dirty play. Today, they were trying to cheat her out of a possession. Clark snapped. She didn't walk away. She marched directly over to the Dallas player, leaned right into her face, and let her have it. No hesitation. No fear. Pure, unadulterated trash talk. She let the entire arena know exactly what she thought of that fake. That fiery confrontation was like dropping a match in a powder keg. Indiana fed off her fury. Kelsey Mitchell hit a cold-blooded step-back 3. Aaliyah Boston ripped the ball cleanly from Buchers, went coast to coast, and laid it in. 101 to 100. One possession game. 90 seconds left. Absolute pandemonium. But in the dying seconds, Dallas's championship DNA showed up. They hit the crucial free throws when it mattered most. With time expiring, Clark launched a desperate, heavily contested 31-footer that hit the back iron. The buzzer sounded. Dallas survived, 107 to 104. Indiana lost the game on the scoreboard, but the narrative had shifted entirely. Just 9 days prior, she was carried off this court, a question mark hovering over her season. Today, she played 30 grueling minutes. She scored 20 points. She broke Diana Taurasi's historic record. She stared down her rivals, and she took the final shot with zero hesitation. The Wings won the opening battle, but Caitlin Clark sent a chilling warning to the entire league. The Queen is back, and she is taking no prisoners.